these questions are so loaded.
This is low. It's low. We let you in. We tried to take care of you, and you're sitting here and just attacking us for 3 hours, bro.
The world is asking these questions, and the viewers will be asking these questions.
It's a consistent leading question, a consistent narrative. Where's the question about the good he's doing for men? Well, there's a very clear narrative. I need to leave. Okay.
So Vice did an interview with Andrew Tate, where it was basically set up to question him about his supposed crime. It's riddled with bias and aggressive questions that make him out to be a criminal. And it's completely and utterly biased from the get-go. Part of being an impartial channel is that we have to be prepared to defend both sides, and this time we're going to be defending Andrew Tate from Vice's unfair and biased questioning. Now, I am not an Andrew Tate fan, but I do respect his work in terms of his numerous successful businesses and work ethic. It's just his sociological views I can't agree with. Anyway, with that being said, let's take a look.
With Andrew's team increasingly conscious of negative publicity, tonight could be the last chance to interview him. Do you consider the possibility that some of the things that you've said, which have been viewed 11 billion times, may lead to an attitude towards women that could be harmful?
I accept that across all of that viewership, I have perhaps, possibly, maybe said one thing, or maybe two, that has upset a large range of people.
Wouldn't it make sense to just apologize for some of the things you've said, acknowledge that they have caused harm, and say that you won't say those things again?
No, and I'll tell you why.
So there is nothing wrong with this question here. It's basic journalism to confront people with tough questions that the public are very well arguing. Andrew Tate downplays the allegations made against him, saying that he may have said one or two things in the past. He knows this isn't true. I consider him a marketing expert, and he definitely deliberately says these incredibly bold and sometimes sexist statements to generate press, and it absolutely works. People like Jeremy Clarkson have been doing it for years, and it has helped make them a household name. A lot of people idolize him, not because he's sexist and because of his views, but they idolize him because in this age of cancel culture, he speaks his mind. I respect that about him despite not agreeing with most of what he says.
I'm not going to apologize for the edits of other people. I'm not going to apologize for the misunderstandings of other people. There's a whole bunch of clips people are making which make me look very bad. That's not good for my life. That's not good for business.
The clips that portray you in a negative light also help the algorithm to make you become more famous and more viral.
I'm not an expert on algorithms for social media platforms. I do not have most of them installed on my phone. I cannot control what a 15-year-old Singaporean decides to do when he chops me up and calls me names. I can't control that, and I wouldn't try to.
When you search for your name in Google, one of the associated terms is human trafficking.
I was not formally charged. I have no criminal record. I've never human trafficked anyone in my life.
Why then have the Romanian police said the investigation is ongoing?
So he does a very clear distancing behavior when confronted about deliberately saying these outrageous statements because it generates clicks and publicity. People typically distance themselves from people that cause them stress, and Andrew Tate noticeably does this right after the guy asks this question. Andrew Tate is clever. He knows marketing. Heck, his whole Hustlers University was a marketing ploy to make thousands of people re-upload his content. This is his exact area of expertise, and he knows it, which is why he looks away when he lies. Now, this is where we see Vice turn from good journalists into manipulative and biased journalists. They use the fact that people have searched for Andrew Tate trafficking as an excuse to steer that conversation into heavily trying to imply that he's guilty despite these charges being dropped in the past. Vice then asks an utterly manipulative and biased question. Andrew Tate has just said that he's not guilty and has no criminal record, and Vice, being the incredibly bad journalists they are, then attack his innocence by asking why he's being investigated. By phrasing this as a question, they are pretending to act impartial despite it being loaded with bias. They may as well have just said Andrew Tate must be guilty because the Romanian authorities are investigating him. That's what I have a problem with. They are assuming that he's guilty before a trial has even been concluded. For a mainstream news agency to violate innocent until proven guilty personally scares me, because if they can do it to him, they can certainly do it to you. This bad journalism also drives people to support Andrew Tate.
I'm not sure where you got that information from. I'm not sure who said it. Is there some kind of procedure that must be completed? I don't know.
There has been a lot of bad press about you. That's made some nervousness within members of the war, and why is that?
Well, obviously, when people are going to continue to lie and continue to do very, very shallow very, very fictitious investigations, people are going to lose faith in you. The media has lost all credibility because you do not try and portray the truth anymore.
One thing that stands in the way of truth, for example, is when we often do documentaries, we have full access to speak to anyone we want. But in this documentary, we've been very closely watched by the sartorial shooter, Alpha Wolf, picking who we can speak to, you know, monitoring the interview. What is it that you're worried that we're going to find out?
These questions are so loaded.
This is low. It's low. We let you in, we tried to take care of you, and you're sitting here and just attacking us for 3 hours, bro.
The world is asking these questions, and the viewers will be asking these questions.
It's the consistent leading questions, the consistent narrative. Where's the question about the good he's doing for men? Well, there's a very clear narrative. I need to leave.
Vice then again uses a false question, which is basically a statement to try and manipulate the viewers. What is it you're worried we're going to find out is basically the equivalent of them saying Andrew Tate is hiding something because he won't give us access to everyone in his organization. This is again incredibly biased and unprofessional journalism that has one aim: to manipulate and push a narrative on viewers. I do not like Andrew Tate. I believe he teaches a lot of deeply disturbing ideas about women that have very real implications, but he has done good as well. These questions are so biased, and if they can do it to him, they can do it to you too. One of my all-time favorite quotes is, quote, "I disagree with what you have to say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it," unquote. I am a firm believer in free speech, and these clever, manipulative questions to tell viewers that Andrew Tate is a criminal are incredibly disturbing and morally wrong. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.